In the bustling city of Carpathian Haiti, a young woman named Alina dreamed of a better life. With fierce determination, she found her way to the United States, hoping for opportunities she never had back home. Soon, she met a charming man named Mark, who was already in a committed relationship. Despite knowing this, Alina joined the relationship, feigning love and affection. Alina, ever the strategist, found a way to get herself pregnant. Her reasons for wanting a child were multifaceted. She feared passing the age where she couldn't bear children and dreaded her mother looking at her differently, suspecting an alternate lifestyle that didn't include having kids. Her friend's recent childbirth and her sister's children only fueled this desire, sparking a competitive streak within her. Mark, understanding the gravity of the situation, explained that they weren't ready for a child and that there was a process to follow. However, Alina was insistent, believing they could make it work. Despite Mark's reservations, Alina became pregnant. As their relationship progressed, Alina's true colors began to show. She misunderstood her role as a girlfriend, believing she could overnight become Mark's primary partner. Her behavior grew increasingly selfish, driven by her desire to be taken care of without any accountability. She even made the shocking statement that she would be an international whore, revealing her true intentions. Mark was the only one who stood by Alina when everyone else turned their backs on her. He was there when her mother made her kiss the ground, accusing her of living an alternate lifestyle. When her sisters spoke ill of her, and she had arguments with her sister's ex-boyfriend, Mark was there, offering a shoulder to cry on. He provided support and love during her most vulnerable moments. All he wanted was to be loved back in return, and Alina knew that. Mark was also on a difficult journey of sobriety, battling his demons one day at a time. Alina at first seemed supportive, showering him with affection and consistent compliments, acting as if she truly cared. But as time passed, her facade began to crack. The toll on Mark grew heavier as he caught Alina numerous times, exchanging text messages with other men. Her excuses were always the same. They're just people I knew from back home. But the lies didn't stop there. Alina would often insist that Mark pay for her to travel to the other side of the world for vacations with people she allegedly didn't know. Every year, Alina made a point to travel back to Haiti under the pretense of visiting family. In reality, she was going back to see her ex-boyfriend or international lover. Mark began to piece together the truth and realizing that she was using these trips to continue her affairs. The betrayal cut deep, especially as Mark had been so vulnerable with her, opening up about his struggles and trusting her to stand by him. Despite all this, Alina never took responsibility for her actions. Instead, she constantly blamed Mark for things he didn't do, throwing accusations his way at every opportunity. Whether it was accusing him of being unfaithful, not caring enough, or even causing problems in their relationship that she herself had created, Alina always found a way to shift the blame onto him. These baseless accusations left Mark feeling trapped and constantly on the defensive, adding to the emotional burden he was already carrying. To make matters worse, Alina expected Mark to anticipate her needs and desires without ever expressing them. She would grow frustrated when he didn't automatically know what she wanted, as if she expected him to read her mind. When he failed to meet these unspoken expectations, she would lash out, accusing him of not caring or being inattentive, further eroding his sense of self-worth. Alina also preferred taking advice from her single friends over listening to Mark. This frustrated him deeply, as he felt disrespected and undervalued. His opinions and feelings were consistently dismissed, leading him to feel even more isolated within the relationship. This lack of trust and communication pushed Mark to his breaking point, and he began to drink again, his hard-fought sobriety crumbling under the weight of his emotional pain. Mark had initially entered into the relationship with Alina because he had been mistreated in his previous relationship. Alina knew this was his weakness, his longing to be loved and valued. She used this knowledge to her advantage, giving him just enough affection to keep him hooked while manipulating him for her own gain. Mark had no way of knowing there were strings attached to her love, strings that would eventually entangle him in a web of deceit and betrayal. He felt so trapped in this deceptive game of love, unable to find a way out. The combination of her lies, deceit, relentless accusations, unreasonable expectations, and dismissive attitude took a significant toll on Mark, pushing him to the edge. He had fallen in love with someone who not only took advantage of his vulnerability, but also jeopardized his hard-fought sobriety. All Mark ever wanted was to be loved back in return, to have someone who truly cared for him as he did for them. But instead, he found himself trapped in a relationship with someone who cared only for herself, leaving him broken and questioning how he had ever fallen for her charm. The dreams of a better life that once fueled Alina's journey to the United States had turned into a tangled web of lies and selfishness, leaving a trail of broken hearts, shattered trust, and undeserved guilt in her wake.